All right, what is going on, my friends? We are trying out some of the master rank Lagrange to main station hauling missions today. These are the ones that are going to focus on using your closed cargo ships, because you can't do these missions with the hull C because you require going to these Lagrange points. We're at Corel 4 now, which is the pickup for this mission, and I'll show you guys what it is real quick. And since you're picking up from the Lagrange points, it should be pretty self-explanatory. You cannot use the autoload feature of the hull C. So all these are dropping off at the main ports, which is nice because we can use the external freight elevators. However, we do have to load everything up from the one. Now, this one is, let's just see here. This is a combined about 300 SEU of cargo. The trouble is when you're trying to do bulk versions of this, or like more than one, you pretty much have to use the Hercules because you can't fit two of these missions on the Caterpillar. Now, you might be able to go into your stellar missions, which is the category for these, under the master rank, or maybe under the senior or experienced rank, and find a way to sort of fill in the gaps with some other missions to maybe get full capacity. But today we're just going to see how quick it is to load up this one mission that totals you almost 400,000 AUEC, and see how long it takes to complete. That way you can see what kind of earnings you're looking at in an hourly fashion. Now, this morning I did attempt to do two of these in the C2, and it kind of broke. Not because the mission itself was a problem, but because it was going to be 690 SEU, which is almost filling up the C2, but parts of the grid in the C2 were jacked up and not working right. It was really frustrating. It was taking too long. And then when I went to drop it off, I realized that with these missions, since you have basically an element going to a set of stations, I had one that was aluminum on both missions, but it's specifically coded to its destination with that mission. So if you put the aluminum that belongs to one of the missions on the other one, it says that that element is blocking the cargo elevator, so you can't submit it. So you got to keep that in mind. If you attempt to stack these master rank missions, you need to keep an eye on where you have the different commodities placed, because you're probably going to have two missions that both have aluminum or quartz or tungsten, titanium, whatever it is. You got to keep those separate so you avoid that headache. And that's why I think that it'll probably end up being faster to do these one at a time and then go to a different Lagrange point to grab another. Like as an example, this one's MIC L1 to the 4 main stations. The one we're doing now is Crew L4 to the 4 main stations. That's how they basically all run. They're just under 400k each, and they're going from a Lagrange point to the 4 main stations. And I think it's actually going to be a really cool loop. And honestly, the ship that would be baller at this would be the Ironclad, because you would have all the space you need to stack maybe 4 or 5 of these and then go deliver them all to these 4 main stations. I would love that. But for now, we are going to be using the Caterpillar, which I think is a great ship to show this off, because you're really only going to have the efficiency or time management to handle one of these at a time. If you want to take on more than one, let me know how it goes down in the comments below. So I'm not going to show you the full raw gameplay of this. We're going to do this kind of quick. I'm going to show you the quick and dirty version, just where the cargo is, the ship we're at, dropping them off, and how long it takes. I'm going to go ahead and hit that timer now since we're bringing the ship up, and we're going to see just how long it takes to complete this, and they can kind of gauge an idea of how much you could be making per hour doing this, because I know a lot of people focus on that. And I'm not going to be trying to min-max this or go super fast. I'm just going to be kind of reasonable and in my speed and kind of common sense. So I am going to enjoy using the 4 main bays of the Caterpillar to kind of organize this. Granted, it's going to, well, each of the 4 main stations, so I can put the cargo all going to Bygenia in one, the cargo all going to Seraphim in one, and kind of help it stay a bit more organized than you might have it in something like the C2. Now, unfortunately, in the senior and master rank hauling missions for Kovalex, there's really not a lot of involvement of the whole C, because for whatever reason, the devs want to use the Lagrange points, and Lagrange points don't have cargo bays. I think they should. I think that every Lagrange point in Stanton should have a cargo area. They have to receive cargo from somewhere, and I'm sure we can argue about the hangars, but I want to see them do a pass on Stanton in a big way, and hopefully they do. Now, this mission is all aluminum and tungsten. Shouldn't be too hard. We've got the Hurston Dynamics livery on our Caterpillar. We're going to go ahead and get this going. These are 16 SCU boxes too, so that's great because it makes it really fast. I'm not even going to bother with parking this in a special way to make it faster. I'm just going to deal with it being here and rip those boxes from the elevator over to the Cat. and then we'll get on our way. All right, and that is all 4 bays full. We did that in about 10 minutes. That's awesome. I'm rocking the Aorus quantum drive and the Caterpillar. You can find those at ARC-L1. They are the fastest overall quantum drive when you consider acceleration, top speed, and cooldown, aside from the TS2, which is the military grade by Waytech, and obviously the best. But yeah, head over to ARC-L1 to grab yourself an Aorus if you want to get around fast and you don't have access to a TS2. It'll be worth it. Here's the shot of the Hurston Dynamics livery that finally works on the Caterpillar Pirate. I still think the Pirate Cat base livery is probably the best one for it, but it's nice to mix it up sometimes, and I do love the industrial look of the Hurston Dynamics livery. Another great way that this ship shines too is that I know when I get to the station, it's just everything in Bay 1 going. There's no confusion because it's all organized. It's really helpful. Now we are here. And you can tell by these little bumps, these ones here, these are all of your external freight elevators. So careful when parking. I've found that parking to the left of the platform when you initially call it tends to prevent your ship getting impounded or stored. Don't park directly in front of the cargo grid. All too often that has left me with a stored ship, and that sucks. So I park over here to the right initially to head out and call the elevator up, which actually, this elevator looks like it might already be up, which that's awesome. If that happens more frequently, that'll be even easier because we can actually just park in front of it now and go ahead and drop everything off. Helmet on. Make sure. You can tell because the little icons end up turning square in the bottom corner instead of circular. All right, now all this stuff is going to Bygenie, so we're just going to go ahead and quickly throw it without worrying too much about how pretty it looks. I don't really care. Shouldn't even have to spin it. Just throw it right at it and let it do its thing gridding. It goes too high, I believe, as well. So if you want to get picky, you can, but you don't really need to. Go. Is that everything already? I worry that if we do it from here, it might store our ship, but let's find out. If it does, that's a problem that they really need to work on because that's super inconvenient. Let's see what happens. Sweet. Everything's counted properly, and it is dropping, and our ship's still here. So maybe it's an anomaly when it does happen and it's not supposed to. We'll go ahead and close this while that goes down. I think you mostly want to make sure you're just not in front of like a ticketable area where the mall cops want to impound you from where you're at. There we go. That's already done. We'll go ahead and break away. Make sure you don't run into any station turrets. I'm going to set course for Everest Harbor next. Of course, port side opens, but starboard side is busted, so we're going to have to open everything. Where you just got to be vigilant of what's around your ship because now you're exposed. That's it. All green across the board, and we're done. On to the next one. Really digging that all of these have been opened for me already. That's it for the tungsten. All good across the board. Hell yeah, that's what I want to see. Alright, let's do this. About a 45-minute process so far. We're at 43 minutes. And I haven't been moving as fast as I could be. We had some back and forth because of the doors and the cat not working properly the first time. And I was doing some thumbnail photo ops. And I think that's all she wrote. Final checks we needed. Looking good. All right, yeah, and that's, I guess we'll wait till it technically ticks off. There we go. That should be mission complete at 44 minutes and 20 seconds. All right, just making sure we're not drifting into anything. That was about 44 minutes and 20 seconds to earn how much exactly there? 395? Yeah, 395, 500. So based on that math, you're looking at just under 500k an hour. 494, 375. Now remember, I wasn't going as fast as I could have. I was kind of being a bit more casual, but experienced and organized. We weren't like taking our time intentionally. We were just doing it at a reasonable pace without really trying to min-max everything. Probably can shave a few minutes off of that. But still, doing these missions one at a time in something like a Caterpillar or a C2, you're looking at about $500,000 an hour, which is still a really good payout for missions. It's not going to touch quite what the Hull C can do, but that's to be expected because the Hull C is a whole different monster. I'm going to go ahead and head over to Pyro as I'm going to be working on the Red Wind Line Haul grind a bit and seeing how some other missions are playing. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you do want to see the raw gameplay, like just unedited, minus maybe my little thumbnail photo shoots I was doing, or maybe I'll just keep those in for laughs. But thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Let me know what questions you have for hauling, likes, dislikes, what your opinions are so far on 4.4, and I will catch you in the next one.